When you're starting out and you're a brand new coach and you're looking to really deeply understand your aligned client's journey and what it is that they're looking for, how do you show up? How do you understand that? How do you build a signature offer and truly grasp what it means to be an activated coach? What does that look like? In this episode, I'm going to be breaking down a lot of what I've seen in the industry that I call pain point selling and how to approach it in a much more empowering and expansive way for your client to feel empowered in order for them to feel that they have truly embodied the transformation that you offer as their coach or their mentor. Stay tuned as I break down some of the systems that have operated for far too long in selling and manipulation fear-based tactics and how we can switch this around to make the client responsible for their own success, their own transformation, and create a completely new paradigm of coaching and reowning our power. All right, let's jump right in. I'm your host, Tiffany Chung, your go-to for all things marketing, mindset, and manifestation. I grew my online business from 0 to beyond 6 figures in 8 months. My purpose is to empower women to step into the highest, most aligned versions of themselves. If you are ready to take charge of your life, learn how to design a wildly successful business, and leave limiting beliefs behind, you've come to the right place. You will learn the actionable tips and step-by-step strategies on money, manifestation, and social media. It's time to step into your role as boss, to raise your vibration, and tap into your unlimited potential today. Welcome to the Social Reset Podcast. Hello, and welcome back to the Social Reset Podcast. I'm so thrilled to be sharing this episode with you because it's actually a sneak peek into Business Activation Academy, which, by the way, is now open. Cart is open for BAA, and I could not be more excited. This is the academy that you've all been waiting for. This is the academy I've been building for months and months and months, and have poured my heart and my soul and just everything of my being has been poured into this academy, and it is still being birthed. It is still being built because I am waiting for all of you to join. It gets to be a co-creation journey. So info about BAA is, of course, in the link of my Instagram bio. It's also in the show notes. It is tiffanychung.co/BAA, where you can find all the information, all things Business Activation Academy. But today we are going to be talking about one of the models inside BAA that I've created. And this is for new coaches and coaches making a pivot or offering a new service inside of their business to really deeply understand how to book clients and how to work with the clients of their dreams, essentially. And what does this look like, and how do you sign clients? So this is the best way to book clients, okay? And there isn't a secret formula to this. There isn't something that I have that you don't have, or something that some clients have and, some students don't have, or some coaches have and others don't. It isn't a matter of finding the magic pill. It's a matter of understanding, acknowledging, and accepting that you are the magic pill. So you might be saying, okay, Tiffany, that's not helpful. I need something tangible to walk away with. So don't worry. I have a tangible, very tangible model here that I am staring at that I'm going to break down for you in a moment. But I just want to remind you, because I'm starting to see this here and there. Not starting to. I've been seeing this, but I see a lot of times that coaches are opting to sell by the pain points, okay? And let me just break down what that means in case you're not familiar, or maybe you've seen this, but you're not really sure exactly what I mean by this. So selling by the pain points is driving sales to your offer by means of manipulation, scarcity, or anything that feels really urgent and fear-based, okay? So this is not a part of being an activated coach, by the way. It's not an embodiment of your highest self, but it is something that a lot of people do if they're using wounded masculine strategies that have honestly been around for the longest time. A lot of us go into business and entrepreneurship with the idea of selling that we've picked up from our parents. And from our parents' generation, selling was something that was very wounded masculine. There was a lot of fear-based tactics. There was a lot of manipulation to get people to buy. But we've taken a turn, and especially if you are a divinely feminine business owner, or you are very grounded, you lead by integrity, which most of you are. If you're listening to my podcast, you're in my community, and we've exchanged, communication. I know so many of you. And I know that this is not the way that you run your business, but I do know that a lot of you used to. And I think that there is no shame in that, because it's also how you learn, right? You learn by making mistakes. You learn by operating in a way that doesn't feel good to you in order to figure out what feels in alignment to you. And I was one of those people as well. I was taught by everything that I saw around me. All of the content that I picked up around me was very wounded masculine. It was very buy now, my program is the only thing that's going to save you way of selling to clients. And I kept trying to operate in that sense, and it just didn't work for me. It didn't feel good. I got off sales calls and I just felt gross and icky. And I would read these posts about psychological, essentially manipulation in order to get your clients to buy and for them to, pay instantly. And while there isn't anything wrong necessarily with any one of these things, it's just the way that it is approached. And so here's an example of selling by the pain points. It's going to be something along the lines of, you must be feeling really, really crap about where you're at right now. You're going to stop suffering if you buy my program, if you buy my course, if you buy my coaching. You're going to solve all your problems here through my proven formula. Nothing else is going to get you there. My way is the only way. And it perpetuates a lot of shame and guilt and self-blame towards your aligned client. So even with Business Activation Academy, I am not driving or selling by any pain points. I believe that my clients are whole and complete and magical and perfect, and they do not need my program in order to be successful. So you might be thinking like, what? Why? Okay, so why are you selling the program to begin with, right? And that's such a valid question. I believe that my program, I believe that Business Activation Academy will get my clients to their desired point in a more efficient way, especially if they're showing up and they're doing the work and they're holding themselves accountable and reaching out to other people to hold them accountable, and they're building community, they're going through the modules, they're showing up to the group calls. If you show up and do the work, this will fast track your success and you will see incredible results and walk away with a business. Do I think that my program is the only program that could ever get them to their desired point? No, right? That's a very narcissistic belief. I believe that my clients are whole and complete and can do it on their own, right? I do not want to be holding someone's hand throughout the entire process, step by step by step by step. I want clients that believe that they can do it and they're choosing to be a part of my program because they know it's going to up-level their life, not because they're like, okay, well, I'm putting all this money into you because of all these fear-based tactics. Well, now you got to do a majority of the work, right? I don't want them to believe that they're not enough and that they aren't worthy right where they're at. And I think that that's the problem with a lot of selling that I see, is it's very focused on, let me sell you this program. And once you get inside this program, once you get inside this course, once you get inside my coaching offer, then all of your problems are going to be solved. Because guess what? That's not true. How many times have we said that to ourselves? Once we get this promotion, right? Once I get a new car, once I move into that new house, no, once I get a relationship, then I'll be happy. Then I will feel complete. Then I will want that thing. and have that thing and feel that thing, right? That I want so badly to fill. And guess what? If I have a bunch of students inside my program with the thinking that my program is going to save them and solve all their problems, it's not a very equal transaction because that is so much to put on one program and one coach and one person. But if someone is willingly and excitedly making an investment in themselves and then showing up to do the work and show up at 100%, and the coach or the leader or the mentor also shows up at 100%, and they each hold themselves accountable and do the work that they set out to do, that is a beautiful co-creation. That is a beautiful partnership. Rather than somebody coming in and expecting the program to save them and then feeling inadequate because they jumped in feeling inadequate. If you jump in feeling powerful and regaining that power and owning your power because you know that you are the only one in charge of your success and that you are responsible for every single result in your business, whether it gave you what you want or it didn't, that is true entrepreneurship. That is true power. That is true sovereignty. And that's what I want to exude. That's what I want to share. And that's what I want to teach. I don't want to guilt someone into my program. And then when they're in there, either feel regretful or remorseful, or they try to do their work, but really it wasn't even for them to begin with. And then now I'm dealing with somebody that didn't really need to be a part of the program anyway. I would much rather have a room full of people that are very high vibe, that are very, very high energy. And by this, I don't mean that you're happy all the time or that you've got a smile on your face all the time. I mean that your energy is there. You've gained ownership and you've taken over your energy because you decide that you're going to be there and you're going to show up as the highest version of yourself. This is embodiment. Okay, this is extremely important, especially as an entrepreneur, because you're not relying on anybody else around you to make the decisions, to call the shots. You are doing this within yourself. And I touch on this and I break this down first because I think it's extremely important for what I'm going to share in just a couple of moments, which I have called the Elevate to Embodied model. So obviously, I won't share every single little thing here because this is a part of Business Activation Academy, and this podcast can only go for so long. So if you are resonating with what I'm saying, and I'll break it down even further, Business Activation Academy will share this model in its entirety, but I do want you to understand the concept because I think this is extremely powerful, okay? So let's say you are a social media coach, okay? I have experience with this because that's where I started my business. I'm now the business activation coach, but of course I have a lot of experience in social media, in Instagram, and building your online presence. So we're going to use that example. So the Elevate to Embodied model is going to help you understand where your aligned client is right now and help them to elevate into the person they desire to be. So note that this isn't their pain point or their hell island or the place that they need so desperately to get out of, because I truly believe that your aligned client right where they are, they're alive, they're whole, they're complete, right? They do not need you. They're equal to you. They're seeking you out, taking charge of their power, regaining and owning their power because they're choosing to elevate. Okay, so this is a rising up. This is a glowing up. This is them taking charge of their life in order to elevate. So their operation, their journey, their adventure, their next step, their next level them is through this elevation, literally like an elevator. Okay, so that's where they are when they come to you. They're looking to elevate. They're not broken. There's nothing wrong with them. There's nothing you need to fix. And it's also not on you. This is now their responsibility. Their next level, their up level, their upgrade, their elevation is on them. They're 100% responsible for the results they create inside their business. This makes you a better coach because you're able to be the coach and be able to hold that energetic space for them equally, and the client is able to be an aligned client that's committed and responsible and resourceful and committed to their journey, committed to the process, and they're willing to be coached. They're willing to receive. They're willing to look within their own brain and dive into their own genius. Okay, so this is an elevation. It is empowering. It is activated. That is elevation. Okay, so from the state of elevation, they're now going to be jumping into the embodied zone. So elevation zone is here, embodied zone is here. Now, here's the sneak peek. You are the one embodying their embodied zone. Just think about that for a second. You are their mirror. Even if you're just a couple of steps ahead of them, you are showing them what is possible in their life because they've manifested you as the teacher, as the mentor. You are in their embodied zone. You might be elevating, you might be wanting to upgrade and go into a next level, but for them, for this aligned client, you are in their embodied zone. Your life is now what they want to one day embody, even if it is just a couple of steps ahead or a couple of elevator stops to the top, since we're using that analogy. Your embodiment will inspire them and does inspire them to elevate. Okay? So their elevation point, their elevation zone is the situation that they want to rise up from. They know they can do more. They know that there's more out there for them. They could also be completely 100% content and happy with their current state, or they can be looking to really, really significantly up level. So the embodied zone is how they integrate and how they fully embody the highest version of who they'd like to be. So your highest, most aligned clients are out there. They're seeking a specific desire. They want to elevate from a place and they want to reach an embodied place where they're embodying their next level self. This might not be the final destination. Most of the time it isn't, and it shouldn't be. It's not their end game. It's not the end, last chapter of their life. It's just the next level. So in every single season of our life, we're going from elevation to embodiment. And as a coach, that's what you do. You help someone get from their elevation zone into the embodied zone. If I was a social media coach, I would help them embody the entrepreneur that has a beautifully laid out content plan, higher engagement, higher engaged community with the aligned clients they want to serve, being a more magnetic business owner that speaks their truth authentically online. That's the embodied state that they want to be in. If you're a holistic health coach, you might be helping somebody embrace intuitive eating or personalizing a diet that's best suited for their health needs and to be the healthiest version of themselves. That's the embodied zone they're looking to be in, right? If you're a dating coach, the aligned client's embodied zone can be attracting a romantic partner through a specific framework that you have for them and starting a life with somebody new or learning to love themselves first. That could be their embodied zone. There are limitless, expansive options when you're thinking about elevation and rising up and then integrating and embodying that version into yourself and helping your client do that. And then once you get from elevation to embodied, from there you expand. It's your expansion. When you've up-leveled into a brand new territory, you have to integrate that within yourself first and then go, okay, now I'm going to expand. And so they expand into the level up after that, and then they do it again, and then they elevate again, and then they embody it again. And it gets to be a beautiful, beautiful transition as we continue being more conscious, as we continue being more aware, as we continue embodying and living up to our highest selves and continue to keep learning, which is something that we will always be doing. So I'm so excited to hear how all of you resonate with the embodied zones and the elevation zones, and really understanding how you can guide your aligned client to get from one zone to the next. And you might be someone that offers multiple services. So maybe after they elevate from one zone and get into their embodied zone, maybe you have a program or service after that meets their needs once they get there. I know that after the launch of Business Activation Academy, I'm already planning for a program that will help activated CEOs scale their businesses even further, right? I'm excited to put those details together because I want to be able to follow along on my aligned clients' journey, be able to serve them in that way. So this gets to be a really beautiful lesson or journaling prompt or meditation that you have regarding your aligned client and who they are, and really thinking. Let's think about the elevation zone. What does your aligned client feel right now? Why are they attracted to you specifically? Why do they want to elevate from this state? And then in the embodiment zone, in that embodied state, what emotions do they feel? So after they're done with your service or your program, what are they feeling now? What does that before and after transformation look like? And how many phases will it take to get them to their embodied zone? And then ask yourself, this is a big one, okay? So take notes here. What steps did you take to get yourself into the embodied zone? What steps did you take for yourself to experience this transformation? What did that look like for you? Because likely your most aligned client is you, just a couple of steps back, just a couple of seasons ago. This could have been months, this could have been years ago, but most of the time we become coaches because we've got that personal experience that you can't just slap on a certification. It's personal experience that makes you so relatable, and it makes your story so authentic that people are magnetized to you. And that is the magic pill. It isn't a secret program. It isn't a secret course. It isn't something secret that you can buy to get rid of that feeling inside. It's you. It's you being able to recognize that you're it. You are what your client needs. You being the youest version of you possible and showing up as that authentic highest self. So I want you to keep this in mind this week, because this is a beautiful, incredible, and magical way of empowering your aligned client and helping them reach that next level version of themselves. All right, I really hope you enjoyed this episode. I had so much fun putting this together and sharing my thoughts. I really hope to see you inside Business Activation Academy. If you have any questions at all, my DMs are 110% open to answer any questions about BAA. I cannot wait to see all of you inside. The energy inside these group calls are incredible. I've been getting messages from all of you saying that you've been saving up and just so ready to make this investment and so excited to see me on these group calls, because that's the investment that aligns with you the most. So I can't wait. I know this is going to be an incredibly sacred container, and you're going to be called if this is the program that's meant for you at this time. So I am trusting the universe, and I trust you and your intuition, and I'm so excited. This is going to be a beautiful journey. All right, I'm going to catch you on the next episode and talk to you soon. Bye. Thank you so much for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe. If this episode resonated with you, please take a screenshot, share it on your Instagram stories, and tag me at tiffanychung.co. I truly appreciate interacting with every one of you. Catch you all on the next one.